As usual, I want to play. This is a vlog number 10 from Shelly Writer 81. These are my 5 answers. Number 1, do you ever act weird in public? Of course. All the time. Yes, I like to act silly and goofy. If I'm with my brother, my son, or somebody, that I know and trust and they know I'm joking around, I get really silly. In high school, there were 3 of us that went to the shopping mall. I have no idea why we did it, just for a lark, I think. 2 of us pretended to be British. I put on an accent, and then this other person was practicing an accent. The 3rd one pretended that they couldn't speak, that they were mute. We decided upon going in the store and asking for a particular item to see if they had it, to see how they reacted to us. And at the time, the 3-piece suit was on its way out. But there were still stores that carried the suit, coat, jacket, pants, and the vest. So we went into stores and I was asking for a waistcoat with a British accent. People in the Midwest of this country love accents. They go nuts over accents and foreigners, etc., etc. And people were so interested in listening to what I had to say, and they had no idea what a waistcoat was. A waistcoat is the way of saying waistcoat or vest. And nobody knew what that was, but they were so interested in talking to us. Yeah. That was, it was a fun experience. Yeah, I act really goofy. And sometimes in the stores that have the little books that have buttons on them that play different songs or sound effects, I like playing with those. 2, if you found a large amount of money in a bag, would you return it or keep it for yourself? Well, if I was in the middle of nowhere, like a desert or a mountaintop, and there was nobody around, I would keep it. But if it was like on a bus or in a city or in the neighborhood, you better believe I'd turn it into the police. It's the right thing to do. Yeah, I'm poor too. But it's the right thing to do, and karma will get you if you do something wrong. Believe me. 3, what makes you feel sexy? Something really simple, and I'll tell you what it is. I went into the hardware store. I like hardware stores, but I went into the hardware store looking for, what was I looking for? Oh, wax ring for the toilet. And tiles for the floor. And I wasn't dolled up or anything, but my hair was down, and I don't know, I guess I look okay sometimes. But what made me feel sexy, so I'm walking through there and some other guy, some worker guy's walking, he's looking for something, then he walks by me and he smiles and he goes, hello. I mean, he initiates the hello, and he looks at me and he's smiling, and I'm like, that made me feel kind of worth it, Otherwise, I feel like nothing. But it just made me feel kind of like the guy was really looking at me, like, oh. That's what made me feel sexy. I know that sounds stupid. Number 4, do you ever give money out to the poor or charities? Yes, I do. We have charities that pick up clothing. And when I go through things that's usable clothing that the kids have outgrown or something, yeah, I donate it. And charities, we have one called Salvation Army. In the wintertime, closer and closer to Christmas, they have a volunteer that stand next to this little red kettle and you put money in the kettle. I'm poor and I don't have much, but I'll put in like maybe 25 cents or it's whatever, something that I can, anything, because I know what it's like to be poor and feel that nobody cares. I agree with Manolis, you never know, if these charities are soaking up all the money except for a penny, or if they're honest or dishonest. The Salvation Army does tend to help, and I put just a little bit in the kettle if I can. And the last question, I think. If you were guilty of something, would you admit to it or deny it? I would admit to it, and the sooner the better. Because the longer you hide something, the worse it's going to be. Like I say, you know, karma will get you if you do something wrong. I know if I'm having really too good of a time, then I'm going to have a bad time. I don't know, it's just a pessimistic view. But the same goes for being dishonest. And I also hate liars. I just hate liars. It's like when you take your car in and they tell you, oh, it needs this or it needs that, or we didn't do that, or I know darn well they're lying, and I just hate that. If I do something wrong, I might be sheepish about it, but I will admit it. Whew, I'm tired too. I'm going to bed. That's my tag answers. Upward and onward.